Hi guys, my name is Juliet Ambali and you're welcome to my YouTube channel. If this is your first time here, thank you so much for stopping by. You will love this place, I promise you. If this is not your first time here, you already know how much it means to me that you come here time and again to watch my videos. Thank you so much for watching. So today we're going to be talking about a very controversial issue, and it's on the perception or the notion that people say have as to couples falling out of love at some point within marriage. Have you heard that saying that at some point you find out that you are no longer as in love as you were with your spouse when you first met them or when you first started your relationship and got married, and that maybe what will help solidify or hold your marriage together will be probably your companionship and your friendship and what have you. But today I want to talk to you about how it's very possible that you can still be in love with your spouse through the years, and why it is that you are falling out of love with your spouse, or why you think you're no longer in love or as in love as you used to be or as you wish you would be with your spouse now that you are years down in marriage, or months down, even months down in marriage for some people. So I hope that you enjoy this video as you watch on. Thank you so much. So now the first point that I like to say is that first and foremost, or for one, you build your understanding of your love for your spouse on your feelings. And now what do I mean by that? You imagine that your feelings towards your spouse is what love means towards your spouse. So the moment you no longer feel the way that you feel towards your spouse, maybe because of certain things that you have begun to unravel through the course of your marriage, maybe they don't look as well put together as you imagined they would be while you were courting. Maybe they don't look as organized as you would imagine that they would be, or maybe they are not as good with money as you would have expected they should be, and so on and so forth. You've begun to see their flaws. So the awareness of these flaws has begun to affect how you feel about them. Okay, now that's the mistake that you've made. You have built your focus on what love is on your feelings. Now I'd like you to understand that your feelings can be likened to smoke, and love, true love, especially as the Bible explains and dictates to us, is like fire. You can fuel fire, but you cannot fuel smoke. Okay, smoke is like, it's supposed to be the residue, it's supposed to be the outcome of the fire. You only find smoke where there's fire. Do you understand? So you have instead focused on smoke rather than focusing on the fire itself. Now, what is love? Love is not your feelings. It's not that. It's not just your emotional feelings. It's just those ones are just aspects of what real love is all about. Real love is unconditional. It's selfless. It's not selfish. It's focusing on the good of the other more than oneself. Okay, it's a whole lot more that First Corinthians chapter 13 has taught us to be. That's what love is. Now, so if you have that love towards your spouse, you cannot fall out of love with your spouse. Now, having that understanding of what that love means will help you to be a lot more considerate. Yes, you've seen their flaws. Yes, you've seen their shortcomings. Yes, they don't look as much as what the picture you've painted about them, but you're giving them grace. You are loving them regardless. You are loving them unconditionally. So it's very important that you understand, and first of all, be objective. Ask yourself, scrutinize yourself. What I think I have towards my spouse, is it just smoke or is it real fire? And try to see how you can organize things better, and try to see that going forward, ensure that you really understand what it means to love your spouse. This way, I promise you, you can't fall out of love with your spouse. You would love your spouse. You would love them. In fact, the love that the Bible explains actually builds and gives you a stronger emotional attachment and feeling towards your spouse. Okay, so it's important that you understand what love really means, so that you understand that it's not something that you can fall in and out of. Okay, so that's the first point that I want you to take note of. Thank you. Now, the second point that I'd like to mention is that for the reason you think you may have fallen out of love with your spouse is because you have allowed over familiarity seep into your marriage. Okay, now let's even give a simple example. Have you had a situation where there's somebody, just a neutral person that you admire a whole lot, maybe on Instagram, on social media, or even in your neighborhood or church or work? You admire them, you know them from a distance, you don't know them personally, okay? But then let's say they give you that access to be able to get close to them. If care is not taken, if you give room for over familiarity, the admiration that you give them may begin to wane out, okay? Because you've seen a whole lot, like other layers of them that they, of course, they cannot put every aspect of their lives on social media, okay? You've seen them maybe cry. Not many people will bring out their phone and start crying on social media because they are going through one situation or the other. But for the fact that you are now close to them, you've seen them at their weakest. You've seen them when they are down, and so on and so forth. So that alone can affect a great deal how you view them, because maybe before, prior to getting that close to them, you've given that facade and imagined that, oh, they are so strong, they can pull through with situations like this and all of that. It doesn't in reality mean that they are not strong, okay? But that closeness has brought about over familiarity. So if some people are not careful, it can affect negatively how they perceive these people, and it's not right, since it's not wise to do, okay? Understand that everybody is human. So let's bring this back home. The closer you get to your spouse, the more you get to know a whole lot about them. But this should not give you any reason to get so over familiar that you begin to take them for granted, okay? That you've seen them finished. Like, that's what they say in the Nigerian parlance, local parlance. You've seen everything about them, okay? So in your eyes, they are not quote unquote all that, okay, compared to the other man that you just see, or the other woman that you see in the office looking prim and proper, forgetting that those people too, their own spouses have seen every layer of them, okay? So don't get too over familiar to the point that you begin to take your spouse for granted. Rather, see the access that you have to your spouse as a rare opportunity, as such a beautiful experience to have that only you can behold, okay? Not everybody can see all the different layers of your spouse, just you, okay? Now that I'm saying this reminds me of my husband. Sometimes when we're having fun and we're joking and laughing, he'll be like, I'm the only one who knows every aspect of you. And I really love it when he says that. It means the whole world to me, okay? So just see it as a beautiful thing that you have the opportunity to keep unraveling layers and layers of this aspect of this person, rather, that only you can see. So it's a beautiful thing, okay? The world or the people out there that are oblivious of how to do these things will see it as a bad thing, like, okay, we're living together, it's tiring, this is the only person I get to see, I've seen every aspect of you, there's nothing you know. See that as an opportunity to keep. There are levels and levels to a human being. You cannot see somebody finish, okay? So see it as an adventure to keep discovering your spouse. It's a beautiful thing to be close to somebody. See it as an opportunity to be intimate with this person that only you has the opportunity to be intimate with. It's such a beautiful thing. Now, lastly, you are not intentional. You know, I say this time and again, being intentional helps a great deal. Yes, you're cordial, you're friends, and what have you, but you're not intentional about the different aspects of your life. Okay, so it's very important that you're intentional. This will help a great deal to help you not to fall out of love, quote and unquote, okay? So I hope that you've enjoyed watching this video. Thank you so much for watching. You're hurrying right now, I have to run out the door. So that's why I quickly have to wrap this up right now. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, have a beautiful day. Bye.